welcome back to another one. And yes, you are here for a much longer video because the previous one was for people who fall asleep pretty quick and maybe they just want something simple, right? So you came here for a much longer story. I don't know how long it's going to end up being, but we have 6 chapters here today. And the title of this is Somewhere Between Here and You. Before I start reading this, I want to make some comments about the previous one. I am very surprised that you responded to me about that video, saying that it actually helped you to relax and fall asleep. That is really cool. And if you are still waiting for that quiz, it's up now. So you can go to the previous one, not for the purpose of going to sleep, but you can click it for the purpose of improving your vocabulary and improving your ability to use that vocabulary. How awesome is that? So, we have this wonderful story. Now this time, I decided to not make this one with me in it. I thought about it and I was like, maybe it's a little bit weird. If you didn't feel that, I'm so glad. But this is just you. In this story, it's just you and maybe some other mystery characters you will find out, okay? This one, it's a quiet, dreamy journey through moonlit forests, chance encounters, and silent choices. You rediscover something you didn't even know you lost yourself. Oh, you didn't even know you'd lost yourself. A little bit different. So it's a soft, magical ride about self-love, stillness, and the courage to keep becoming. Very long intro, but we are ready to get started. Okay. Chapter 1, The Ticket You Didn't Mean to Buy. You didn't plan to take a train tonight. You were just tired. Not the kind of tired sleep fixes. The kind that sits deep in your chest and makes everything feel a little too loud. You told yourself you'd just take a walk, clear your head, maybe grab a tea and come home. But somehow, your feet brought you here, to the train station, standing in front of a glowing ticket machine. You didn't pick a destination. You just pressed a few buttons. When the ticket printed out, you almost laughed. You still don't know where it goes. And yet, here you are. The platform is quiet. A light wind brushes past your coat, and a train hums gently in the distance. You step on, find a seat by the window, and exhale. For the first time all day, you feel still. The train starts to move, slow and smooth. Street lights blur. Buildings turn to shadows. You lean your head against the cool glass and wonder, what am I even doing? But deep down you know. You didn't need a destination. You needed a pause. A night with no pressure, a little space to breathe, and maybe remember who you are when no one's asking anything of you. The lights dim, the rhythm of the tracks rocks you gently. Somewhere between here and wherever you're going, something begins to soften inside you. You're not lost. You're just in between. And tonight, that's enough. Chapter 2, The Girl with the Orange Blanket. The train is warm now. Not just the air, but the feeling. You don't know how long you've been riding. Time feels softer here. You've scrolled your phone, watched the dark fields pass by. Dozed off, maybe. You're not sure. When the doors open again, someone new steps on. She's your age, maybe a little younger. Messy hair, headphones around her neck, a tote bag that looks like it's seen a few cities. She makes her way down the aisle and settles into the seat across from you, pulling out a bright orange blanket and wrapping herself up like she's done this 1,000 times. She catches your eye and smiles. Hey, you want some? She offers you a mini bag of pretzels, like it's the most normal thing in the world. You smile back. Thanks. You weren't hungry, but somehow it feels good to accept. For a while, you both just sit. The kind of silence that isn't awkward, just peaceful. Then she starts talking. Not loudly, not dramatically, just real. She tells you she quit her job 2 weeks ago. That she didn't have a plan, but she couldn't just keep pretending she was okay. That her boss made her feel small, and she got tired of shrinking just to fit in. She says, I think sometimes we wait for someone else to give us permission, but no one's coming. You gotta give it to yourself. You nod. You didn't mean to, but the words hit something. You think about how many things you've talked yourself out of, how many dreams you put on hold because life got too loud, or you thought you needed to earn the right to want more. The girl leans her head against the window. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going, but I know it's not back. You sit with that for a while. Neither of you speaks again. But something in your chest starts to open. Not because of what she said, but because you understood it. Chapter 3, The Forest Stop. You're half asleep when the train slows down. There's no announcement. no station. Just a gentle stop and the soft hiss of the doors opening. You glance outside and blink. It's a forest, not a park, not a stop near a town. Just trees, tall and dark and still, with moonlight dripping through the branches like silver paint. A few passengers get off casually, like this is normal. You hesitate, but something pulls you up. You wrap your coat around you and step inside. Excuse me. You wrap your coat around you and step outside. The air is cool, just cold enough to wake you up a little. It smells like pine and quiet. Not silent, just peaceful. You start walking. Not far. Just a little path under the trees. And that's when you see it. A bench, wooden, worn, almost invisible. And carved into it, barely noticeable, are 3 words. You are becoming. You trace the letters with your fingers. They're small, but deep. Someone took time to leave these here. You wonder who, and when, and why it feels like it was meant for you. You sit just for a moment. You let the quiet hold you. Your mind drifts, not in circles, like before, but gently. You remember being a kid, running barefoot in the grass. You remember writing poems and deleting them. You remember the version of you who used to believe that becoming someone was still possible. Maybe that version is still here. A soft chime rings in the distance. The train calling you back. You stand slowly, and without really meaning to, whisper, "Thank you," to the trees. And then you go. Chapter 4. The Man with the Maps. You slide back into your seat just as the train begins to move again. It's a little quieter now. Fewer people. Fewer lights. You settle in, your heart still warm from the forest. But then you notice something new. Someone's sitting next to you. An older man. Gray hoodie. Leather journal in his lap. A pencil tucked behind his ear. He doesn't say anything at first. Just flips to a page in his journal and keeps drawing. You glance down and see it. A map. Tiny cities, winding rivers, mountains shaped like sleeping animals. There's even a little sea monster near the corner. None of it looks familiar. You smile. Where is that? He chuckles. Nowhere. I just make them up. You raise an eyebrow. He shrugs. I started drawing fake maps when things felt too real. When I didn't know where I was going. Thought maybe if I could create a place that felt safe, I'd feel safe too. You nod slowly. There's something soft in his voice. Like he's not trying to teach you anything. Just sharing what helped. He keeps drawing. The funny thing is, I never visit these places, but they visit me when I need them. You sit with that. A made-up map. That still gets you somewhere. You look out the window again. The night feels different now. Like maybe the path doesn't have to make perfect sense. Like maybe you don't have to have it all figured out to keep moving. The man closes his journal and leans back. You don't need to know the whole route, he says. Just the next stop. And for the first time in a while, that actually feels like enough. Chapter 5. The Stop with No Name. You wake up just as the train slows down again. There's no voice, no sign. Just an open door and a faint breeze that smells like morning. The sky is still dark, but it's the kind of dark that hints, just barely, that the sun is coming. You look outside. There's nothing. No station. No people. Just a small path disappearing into mist. It's strange, beautiful, empty. You glance around. A few people are getting off. Some stretch. Some disappear into fog, like they've been here before. You stand. You're not sure why. Maybe curiosity. Maybe something else. Just as you step toward the door, the conductor appears. Not from the front of the train, but from behind you. Like he's been walking through time. He smiles kindly. Like he already knows what's on your mind. You can get off here, he says slowly. He says softly. Or you can ride until morning. You freeze. This stop isn't dangerous. It's tempting, even. The idea of starting over, of slipping away, and yet you don't move. Not because you're scared, not because you're lost, but because something in you, something quiet but certain, says, "You're not running anymore." You nod politely, step back, and take your seat again. It's not dramatic. No one claps. But inside, something shifts. For the first time in a long time, you choose to stay. Not just on the train, but in your life, in your journey, in yourself. Just as the doors close and the train hums back to life, you realize, you didn't miss your stop. You made your choice. Chapter 6, The Return. The sky is a pale kind of blue when you finally open your eyes. You drifted off again. Not the restless kind of sleep you're used to, but something softer. Something that wrapped around you like a favorite blanket. The train is quieter now. Still moving. Still steady. Outside, the city is waking up. You recognize the skyline, the streets, the shape of the world you left behind just a few hours ago. But somehow, it looks different now. Or maybe you do. You gather your things slowly. No rush, no pressure. Just you, your coat, your thoughts, and something else. Something invisible, but real. You step off the train. The platform is ordinary. There's a woman on her phone. A kid chasing a rolling bottle cap. The smell of coffee from the vendor you always walk past. It should feel like nothing changed. But you know better. Because now you carry a memory of moonlight in the forest. A stranger's voice reminding you to listen to yourself. A hand-drawn map of places you haven't yet named. And a moment when you stayed even when no one would have known you've left. You take a deep breath. You're not fixed. You're not finished. But you are becoming. And now you can feel it. You smile to yourself as you walk into the morning light. Not because everything is perfect, but because you remembered. You are allowed to keep growing, even here. Okay. I'm not sure if you have fallen asleep yet, but if you have, that is so nice to know. And when you wake up, you can comment what you thought of the story. And I think it's really normal if you couldn't understand really majority of what's happening here. This is more suitable for upper intermediate level. Okay? So if you are in the intermediate level, right, I can understand why this would be a challenge. But of course, this video is really for those who are just wanting to sleep and get some English exposure. So it's not really meant to be taken very seriously. Especially, I wouldn't go in with some kind of mindset like, uh-oh, I don't know this word, I don't know this word, I don't know that word. It's totally okay. It's totally okay. And so, yes, I would love to hear your thoughts, especially comparing these two. They're very different, right? And if you are listening to this for some comprehension, you can do your best to put your understanding of the story below, and you can ask me, like, hey, Hannah, is this what the story is talking about? Here's what I understood from it. And I can tell you, oh my goodness, you have it mostly right, or whatever it may be. And so soon, a few days after I upload this, there will be a quiz for you about the vocabulary with a list, just in case that's useful for you. And so we will see what happens in the next story. I think it might be a good idea to make a series, but I'm still testing the waters. I'm still testing out what kind of genre, themes, topics you like to listen to. I got one really funny recommendation about math, like saying a bunch of math things, or, explaining like math concepts in a really calming ASMR voice. That is hilarious. If you think I should do that, please tell me. I think that is so funny. But anyway, sweet dreams. Thanks for listening all the way until the end. And I hope you have a good night.